I'm so grateful. Don't be afraid to give him a try. He's way more than capable. Give him a try. And Jesus is faithful. Give him a try. Oh, he's way more than capable. Give him a try. Whoa.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How's everybody doing? It's been a good about month, almost month and a half of relaxation and kicking it, and now it's time to get back to it. So, how you doing, Brother Sims? Welcome back. Loyal watcher. What's up, Brother Sims? Got a really exciting episode for you guys tonight. We're just going to be talking to one of our youth, one of our young men who's doing extremely well. I was just talking to him actually just in the backstage, and just really proud of him, his direction and what he wants to do. And, I was just trying to give him a little bit of advice, but we want to see some good things come from that young brother. I got a good feeling about him. But as always, when we start off, and I also want to say, please pray for Brother Bruce Griffin. As y'all know, we was going to do it together. He ate some food and he's not feeling well. So we're definitely going to mention him in prayer, as we move on. But please drop your prayer requests. If you have any, then now's the time. We'll wait a couple seconds and then we will go from there. But yeah, we'll have Brother Brendan Albama today. And I'm really impressed with that young man. Just talking to him for a couple seconds, and I'm really talking to myself right now when I do this Devo, because that just talking to him just now made me realize, like, I got to get to know this young man a little bit better. I got to try to lend my support, lend my, anything I can to be of help to him, because realistically, that's what we're there for. We got to start supporting our youth better. We got to start being there for them. Hey, coming to us live from Texas, we got Sister Moore. How you doing, Jay? All right. Yeah, we're just waiting for a couple to trickle in. And if anybody has any prayer requests, please go ahead and leave them. And we're going to go ahead and pray and get right into it. Hey, what's up, Leah? How you doing? All right. You at a bowling tournament? I don't know if y'all know, but brother, do not bowl with Brother Miller. I'm telling you right now, the man is serious, and that's all I can say. The man is serious. So I don't see anybody dropping any prayer requests, so I'm going to go ahead and just pray us in real quick. I'll have a short devos, and then we hurry up and get this young brother in. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to assemble here tonight to study another portion of your word, Lord, but also just get to know our youth a little bit better. Be there for them and just try to figure out how we can meet on even ground, Lord, and they can learn from us, but we can also learn from them, because as we look in your scriptures later, Lord, there's so much that we can learn from our youth, just about how you would like to be served, Lord, with innocence and vigor. And, sometimes we lose that, Lord, and I just pray that we can regain it and that we can start doing better for ourselves. And just praying that, for the success of this podcast, Lord, and all the endeavors that we do to upkeep the kingdom, Lord, and the churches worldwide too, Lord, praying for them that they can continue to get the message out, the good news, Lord. So we say that with all thanks, and we appreciate everything you do for us, Lord. Forgive us of our sins, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So today I just wanted to briefly talk to y'all about our youth. Wanted to kick off the year, like as Brother Hall would say, talking about the future, and specifically Gen Z. That's kind of the target area that we decided to talk to. And I think there's a lapse in understanding. Like we don't really know the things that they're going through right now as opposed to the things that we went through as youngsters. What do they struggle with? What kind of stress relievers do they have? Do they feel that they can come to us to discuss their lives and the issues of life that they're having? And do they think that we can relate to them on that level? How often do we consider the lives of our children and, what outside influences are coming into them? What is the world putting into them? What are their teachers putting into them? What are their friends putting into them? You know, um, what kind of morals are day to day, because we can put things in our children, but they got to go out into the world, you know. And so I just wanted to try to refocus on this first episode, about how we can not only mentally but spiritually support our children, but also just give them the support of we are here for you. We are here. Use us to, you know, um, help yourself out. We got experiences, things that you've gone through. We can be of value to you in that way. And so, because let's be honest, a lot of the times the world is tearing them down, telling them what they're not, making them feel a certain way about what they're not, instead of trying to build them up. And I think that's where we need to come in. So, just for a moment, we're going to reflect on a very powerful moment, in the life of Jesus. And it just really highlights how he feels about youth and how his love and compassion for the youth should translate to us and how we have to use his example, to just be better. Oh, hold on, let me switch this. Okay. Just to be better. So we're going to look at Matthew 19:13-15. Then people brought little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked them. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." When he had placed his hands on them, he went on from there. Let's look at the historical context. Back then, the youth really were not valued in the sense that we value them today just for, being youthful. Back then, they weren't really considered significant as far as religion. They weren't considered significant as far as just lifestyle. They were just kind of just put to the side until you get a little bit bigger. They didn't really have any social status, so the disciples likely, I don't think the disciples really meant to be pushy about the kids situation or the youth situation as far as they just shouldn't be here. I don't think they were nitpicking in that way. I think what really, because reading after going back and trying to, I read the chapter before, and in chapter 18, Jesus spends a lot of time teaching and also talking to his disciples. And then immediately in Matthew 19, which is where we are right now, he goes on a trip. So he goes from Galilee all the way to the coast of Judea. And, I did a quick little search, just see how that's about like 85 miles. So thinking about it, just from a regular standpoint, I mean, Jesus didn't have no car, so it ain't like he, unless he hopped on a horse or a donkey or something, he had to walk. So, and as he's walking, which I'm assuming he does, it doesn't specifically say how he got there, but along his travel, crowds began to gather. He was healing these people. He was teaching these people. The Pharisees was coming out trying to plot on him. He had to deal with that. So by the time he got to this place where these kids and people were bringing their kids to him, I could kind of understand where the disciples are coming from. Like, man, hold on, this is Jesus, let him handle the big stuff, you take y'all kids going somewhere. But, it just really shows that we have to think like Jesus because he made the time for them. He could have looked at them as insignificant. they're not really bringing anything to this, doctrine that he's given. But at the same time, that just goes to show the greatness of Jesus, because he realized that they not only were so important to him, but they were important for adults too, to mirror them, how they behave, how they are so humble and innocent. And, those are the qualities that the Lord really wants in his servants, in us. So, we have to start realizing the importance of our youth, our young men, our young women, then, just how much we can learn from them. It's not just them learning from us. I think sometimes as adults, we get caught up in thinking we're going to teach somebody something. But the thing is Gen Z got a lot to teach us. It's some things going on right now I don't know nothing about, and so a brother like Brother Albama, Brother Brendan, he can school me to some things, about what's happening in the world, about how I can not only relate to a person like him, but I have a daughter that's younger than him, and she's coming up under him. I got to know how to relate to her, so the qualities of a child too, the importance of having that childlike attitude, holding nothing back. That's the sort of love that God really wants from us, you know in the verse, he says, um, the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. And it's a powerful reminder, that those are the qualities that the Lord wants in us. I know I just said this, but I just want to hammer it home, the innocence, the humility, trust, you know, youth are trusting of us. They are trusting that we're going to lead them in the right direction. That's the type of trust we have to have with the Lord. We have to trust that when we place ourselves in his hands and we do right, he's going to lead us in the right direction. You know, we have to approach his worship with a sense of wonder, dependence. We depend on him for everything. And I know we go to work and we think we out here paying our bills and we responsible for it, but you need your health first. If you don't have your health, you can't work. Then you ain't paying nothing. So, you know, I think that these qualities are really something we need to try to start holding close to us and helping them to embody our relationship with God. You know, Jesus teaches us to examine our hearts. We got to start examining our own hearts. Are we approaching God with the same openness that a youth or a child would exhibit? Are we still passionate about serving? These are all questions you got to ask yourself. The importance of blessing and nurturing children. Jesus took that time when he didn't have to nurture those and lay his hands on those children and bless them. You know, um, I mean, like, as a church community, we're called to support and guide our youth, helping them to grow not only in the faith, but in the world, giving them advices on what their dreams and their goals and what they're trying to reach, helping them. I was just talking to Brendan, he, saying that he want to, he's going for, cybersecurity. And I was like, man, that's really good, and, we trying to brainstorm about who we know in the church that, do cybersecurity. And we got, he trying to get an internship. I'm putting that out there because there's somebody in the church right now that can help this young man, that can help him not only get the technical knowledge, but the hands-on experience, that will make him more confident and complete when he goes out into the world. So let us remember, that it's our responsibility as teachers, as parents, as a congregation, to be there for our youth. And let us remember that every interaction with a child or a youth is a chance for us to show Jesus, to be like Jesus did and say, hold on, disciples. I'm going to bless these children. I'm going to make sure that they know that we care about them and that we support them and that we're there for them. You know, I'm going to take this time to do that. We got to start doing that, you know, because through that, through our words, through our actions, we can make them feel not only valued, not only heard, but cherished, you know. And that's going to help them not only, like I said, in their spiritual journey, but in their earthly journey, you know. So I'm going to bring Brother Brendan in real quick. Let me just get everything set up. Brother Brendan. All right. And welcome him to the stage, the young man, the young myth, and the future legend, Brother Brendan Albama. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, man. But I'm just real proud of you, man. Like I didn't even know you was like in all of that and stuff, man. Like it's just good to hear like that you got a plan, you know, you got goals, ambitions, you going after it.
Of
Yeah,
course.
and I'm proud of that, man. And like I said, I'm trying to put it out there on the wire. If there's anybody at the church that do cybersecurity or know anything about that, hit this young man up.
I'm open. I'm open for it. I'm open for it. All open
Exactly.
for it.
So, just quickly, you Gen Z, we don't really. I'm speaking as an old fogey, but like, what do we need to know? Like, what is it that what struggles are y'all facing that we're unaware of?
I think like coming from someone that's from Gen Z, the biggest struggle that we all go through is mental health. And part of the reason why we're so we're so distant with our mental health is because we're consistently told about how much it doesn't really matter, this, that, and the third. And it really does it really does affect us in a way. And then we also have media. I think media is another big thing that's like really impacting our generation,
Mm-hmm,
because mind you, we have Gen Alpha right behind us.
mm-hmm,
And what worries me is that if we don't get the help that we need, or if we don't fix the issues that we have, then Gen Alpha is the one that's going to suffer.
yeah.
So, and not just us, but Gen Alpha as well. So it's really in a way scary, for because I see a bit of the flaws in my generation. I mean, yeah, there's flaws in every generation, but my generation specifically, it seems like there's a lot of issues, and it kind of seems as if we're pulling issues from from history books. We're
Mm-hmm,
pulling issues from history books and bringing them into light now.
yeah.
Like, there's no reason why we still be dealing with the amount of democracies that we're dealing with nowadays. And part of the reason why is because no one of our generation likes hearing the opposite of what they think.
Mm-hmm,
When people have a mindset, it's set, and if you disagree with me, then you're the wrong one. I'm not wrong. We are very bad when it comes to taking advice.
yeah.
That's another reason why we're also very quiet, because a lot of times when we try to talk to people, like talk to older people, we get answers that we don't necessarily enjoy. We get answers that we are not necessarily looking for, rather than trying to get answers that we need.
Mm-hmm,
We look for answers that we want to hear rather than the answers that we need. And that also plays a big role in why there's a big decline in our mental health,
mm-hmm,
because we're battling the things that we want and the things that we need.
yeah.
Because a lot of the times, even from my own personal experiences, when I get told something that's like really helpful, but it's not necessarily something that I wanted to hear in the moment,
Mm-hmm,
I'm consistently thinking about that. And then I'm wondering to myself on why am I why am I worrying about this? Why am I worrying about this? Why do I have to why am I in between whether right and want? Why am I in between need and want?
yeah.
So like even from speaking from experience, I can see how hard it is to really like deal with that.
Yeah.
So mainly it's I feel like the biggest issue with Gen Z as of right now is just our mindset, and we have gone through a decent amount. A lot of people in Gen Z have been forced to grow older even though they've been really young. I mean, the one most common that is commonly known is the pandemic. when we all were forced to go inside, go indoors, and basically be exiled from the whole world.
Hmm.
And it's that really played a big impact on us because you would think that it would have brought us together, but
Yeah,
it almost as if it split us apart even more. Because after the pandemic, I can actually say that I've seen even bigger decline in not only mental health, but the way we treat each other.
yeah,
And it's like people of Gen Z is they're not afraid to die and they're not afraid to kill each other. And
yeah.
there's so like I could just the list goes on and on for the amount of issues and ways that I can think that the older people can help. I say sitting down with someone from Gen Z and actually listening to them, and not just trying to give them advice, even though you should, yes, but right now, I think we just need someone to sit down and listen to us.
Just be there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's almost as if we feel as if we're not being heard most of the time, and when we feel like we're not being heard, we don't want to hear anything else, you
yeah.
know. So I
But
think it's
yeah,
oh
I
no, there
agree.
you go.
I agree with what you said though, as far as the not not wanting to hear other opinions because, and I think that it's really like Sister Moore just said. I really think that it's really hard on you guys now because back in the day, like when I was growing up, we didn't have cell phones. Like we had dial-up internet. Like if you wanted to get on the internet, you had to like wait. It was like not high speed. Like you could be sitting on a web page for 5 minutes before it load. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just when you have the internet and social media and you can literally find people that agree with everything you say, and it's hard to be able to then accept that like that's not the real world. There are actually different people out here. Everybody's not the same as you, you know. So I agree with that. But my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah,
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, you what you said I 100% agree with. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of communities that, you know, that try to make that give the people what they want to hear and it kind of gives off a bit of dopamine that they get
yes,
addicted to and
yeah,
they're forced to just continuously want that and look for that, and if anybody gives them other than that, then that person either is shaming that person or
hater.
the hater. Like there's
Hmm.
whenever someone gets an opposite opinion, they feel attacked.
Yeah,
No one It's very rare for people of Gen Z to take criticism and actually run with it. There's a lot of it's almost as if the people of media, they don't really care about your life. They just care about money. Because you'll be following an unhealthy lifestyle, and when you get told you're following that unhealthy lifestyle, you'll feel as if that person's attacking you because you find on media that there's a whole community of people that result to this unhealthy lifestyle. And then you have people supporting them. Then you have people saying, yeah, yeah, keep being unhealthy, keep doing this way, keep doing this that way. When ultimately there's people only saying that because they know they're gonna get paid for it.
yeah,
They're not there to help you.
nope,
So I feel like we trust technology too much and we trust the people we see on technology too much, that
yeah,
when we actually talk to someone outside of technology who may know more, like someone of the older generation, it's almost as if we turn a blind eye to it and we go on and it goes on deaf ears.
yeah,
It's really sad because there's a lot of wisdom we can get. And even in the Bible, it tells how, a wise man will always be quick to hear, and it's really sad it's really sad on like our part, because it's just like I understand we went through so much, but what are we showing the next generation coming up?
yeah. And what community can be built from this? Because if everyone's an individual, doing their own thing, there's no real community, and you need community. But like Gen Z, what are some like what are y'all used to? Well, not you specifically, but because I know it's probably a lot of drugging and stuff like that. But what kind of stress relievers do they have? Like,
Well, I mean, it all depends on the person.
Yeah.
Like one of the most common stress relievers I see is people going to the gym.
Yeah.
Another thing I see is people. Okay, there's now that I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of stress relievers that I don't really feel
Yeah.
comfortable with saying,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of stress relievers. I think some besides the gym. I mean, video games.
Yeah.
Some people find stress relief in sleeping. Some people actually find stress relief in talking. You know, some people find it in just chilling out with their friends. You know, it's like we're very simple in a sense, but complicated. Like
But
it,
do Gen Z hang out with their friends? Like, cause like I mean, I remember when I was a kid, like we meet up at the mall. Like I don't hardly ever go to the mall and see like 5 or 6 homies hanging out together. Like,
yeah, I say a lot has changed. I'll say that because when I was a kid, I used to do the same. Like they'll come, my friends, they'll come at my door. We'll go hang out. We'll be playing for like the whole entire day up until nighttime because we'll always have that curfew. Like when the street lights come on, you better be
yeah,
back inside. You know, so it's like I've experienced like hanging out with my friends on like a daily basis.
yeah.
And it's almost as if now people are so because people want to follow that trend of being an introvert is cool,
Mm,
or some people just genuinely are introverts because I mean they can't really trust anybody. You
yeah,
know, when I mean Gen Z people treat other Gen Z people so badly, it's really sickening sometimes.
yeah.
You know, it's almost as if we don't care about the other person or we don't respect the other person. Not saying I'm one of those people, but I'm just saying in general, Gen Z as a whole, it's almost as if we don't care how our words or how our actions affect the other person.
Mhm.
And a lot of the reason is because a lot of the younger generation, they're the parents now, and they don't know how to properly discipline their child in a sense of where they could actually learn from the mistake they did. You
Mhm.
know, most of the parents that are younger nowadays, just tell they give them basically a slap on the wrist and be like, "Well, you'll be fine, but just don't do it again." Which we don't need that. We need a lot more strict discipline. At least I grew up with pretty strict discipline. That's why I am the person I am today. And I know my rights from wrongs. But there's a lot of kids that, even though they know it's wrong, they feel as if they're not going to get as many repercussions for it. And
I Go ahead.
that's just like another, I'm not going to say much, but that's just another thing why we really don't care about how we treat other people, you know?
I also think it has to do with the fact that a lot of the times when people talk mess about people now, it's on the internet. So if you're not face to face talking mess to somebody, it's different than like because I mean, look, we of age. You talk crazy to somebody in their face, you might get knocked out, but like if you on the internet doing your Twitter fingers thing, I just think that people like just feel more emboldened, with talking or talking bad about people, because it's on the internet.
And that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But times, oh no, people they're going in person now.
Oh, okay.
They're going in person. I don't know if you know about these things. They're called RL streamers. Streamers. They're basically real life streamers. And so a lot of now, don't get me wrong. There are good ones. There are people who do the right thing. But then you have the ones that do the complete opposite. Like they find their they find joy in being public nuisances because they know it's going to get them clout or
Troll.
money, some type of compensation. People will go around and like assault people. They will go around assaulting, stealing, doing all of these types of things like just because they can. And a lot of the people that are doing this, they have big bodyguards. So if someone tries to, attack them like it tries to get get back at them,
Mm-hmm.
they're hiding behind their bodyguards.
Yeah.
It's like when it's really bad. Like a lot of the streamers nowadays, their teachings are really bad. They're saying, yeah, as long as you have money, you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah.
giving no consideration to other people and how they're living their lives. There is this kid streamer, not too how old is your oldest daughter right now?
She's 12.
12. He wasn't too much older than her. I want to say about 14.
Hmm.
He was an RL streamer. What he did is he went around grabbing off of people's food, like grabbing off of people's plate in an open door in a outdoor restaurant. And when he got confronted about it, he cussed the person out. He tried to fight the person, this and that. And it's almost as if he took zero responsibility for what he's done. And then there was this another streamer, this female streamer. She wasn't too much older than me, actually. I think she was in her 20s. Like, I want to say maybe 22, 21. And she said she would give a homeless person money if she jumped in a lake, right? And first of all, you know how some people who are very desperate for money, they're willing to do mainly everything.
Yeah.
So the homeless person she jumps in the lake, right? But the homeless person didn't know how to swim. So instead of the streamer calling help and trying to she just left her there and walked out and laughed about it. And that lady, she was stuck in one singular spot in the lake for, I think it was like 20 minutes until someone actually went in to help her. It's crazy. Like, people are willing to do these types of things, and they just get zero repercussions for it. There is another streamer, like, and mind you, most of these viewers that are watching these are predominantly kids. Like,
Yeah.
they're
You gotta
kids.
watch what your kids watching.
Exactly. And it's like most of
Mhm.
these guys are kids. This streamer, it was raining. He was going about 70 miles per hour in like a 45, no, in a 65. He was speeding in a McLaren, and it was raining. And instead of letting a car in front of him, a car beside him get past, he decides to speed up, and he hydroplanes on live, on live. Mind you, he's on his phone while he's driving. He's speeding, and it's raining. And when he crashes, instead of worrying about his cameraman who is bleeding from the head, instead of worrying about his cameraman, he decides, hey, can you hold my camera and get this shot? Can you hold my camera? Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy the things that people are willing to do nowadays for clout. And that's really what Gen Z's are revolved around, is clout,
Crap.
and clout, money, and fame.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we don't care about people's lives. We don't care about our own lives. We don't care about any type of anything, really, unless it involves us getting some type of compensation from it. And it's really sad to see. It's almost as if we're willing to bring our own brothers and sisters down just to be up, when it's like that's not what God put us here for.
No. Well, just thinking about you, like, or people similar to you in our youth of our church. How do we make you feel more a part of the church? You know.
I say, I mean, because a lot of what we're doing now is not necessarily bad. A lot of it is really just with the Gen Z. Like, um, there's a lot of uncontrollables right now. There's a lot of uncontrollables. Like, a lot of people in Gen Z, they feel as if Christian is like the worst religion because they like to force their religion. They like to spread hate, this, that, and the third. And it's like, that's not what Christianity is revolved around. But there's a lot of people on these social media apps who basically do and show the bad and negative image of Christianity. And I like to call them false prophets because they misinterpret the Bible. And instead of trying to bring the newer community closer, they push them further away. I haven't seen they push them further away. Try to scare us in order to go into the Christianity. They try to scare us in order to go in the religion, rather than making us feel like, yeah, we're being invited because this is a good religion and you'll feel safe here.
Mhm.
And that's like the main problem, is the image of Christianity throughout social media, because that's where Gen Z's really on. Like, that's where we're at mainly, is social media. So
Yeah.
if something is pushed and if something has a bad image on social media, it's most likely going to have a bad image outside of it as well. And
especially to the youth. Yeah.
exactly. And like with one of the most popular things being the LGBTQ community and things of that caliber, a lot of people don't agree with how they can't do whatever they want within Christianity. You know, they don't like the fact of consequences. They don't like the fact how something is seen wrong in the eyes of the Bible, but not wrong in the eyes of them. Mind you, God is a higher being than any of us, but just because it doesn't look right in our eyes when we're far less than he is, just because it doesn't look right in our eyes, it's immediately wrong. So it's like it when it comes to the church, I feel like I haven't seen North Shore do anything wrong. I've seen North Shore really try to connect with the youth in ways that I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was like younger and I would see it, I probably would get closer to the Lord, you know, because I haven't seen necessarily you guys do anything wrong.
Mhm.
It's just it's a lot of uncontrollables from social media.
Yeah.
It's like if you would want
That
to
outside influence.
exactly if you would want to make the youth feel more a part of the church, it's almost as if you're kind of trying to you would want to change the whole entire world or change the whole entire view of it on social media, which is it's almost impossible to do that. I
Yeah.
say the best we can do is continue to do things that may pique their interest, like this live stream, this podcast. This definitely will there's them seeing this, scrolling this, that, like they could be intrigued and may want to get closer, or doing what I like to call field work, which is going out and doing things, excuse me, and doing things to help people like without like people that aren't even in our religion, like helping
Yeah.
people out, you know, donating or just doing a lot of helping hand stuff, you know, showing how good life is when
Mhm.
you turn to God
Mhm.
rather than the negative image that's already out there. And a lot of the thing is I'm going back to false prophets. You also have a lot of people that in a way kind of lie about being a Christian. They'll say, "Yeah, I did Christian. I was a Christian before. I was in Christian. I did everything that I was told to do in terms of being a Christian, but yet my life never changed." And I say, well, it clearly seems as if you weren't fully a Christian. Now, I'm not in the place to question anybody's faith at all. I'm not. But one thing I do know is if you fully put your faith in God without looking for any type of compensation, you're putting your faith in God because you know he loves you, you
Mhm.
know, instead of putting it in him because you feel as if you're only doing that so your life can be better. If you put your faith in God because he's God and he loves you, then your life will change. It
Mhm.
will change. But a lot of these people are doing it so their lives can only be better rather than looking at the spiritual, the eternal benefit, rather than looking for the loving benefit, rather than looking for the benefit that you will never feel truly alone ever again because I
Mhm.
will always be there with you.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for things of such like that, instead of realizing that this man sent his only son to die on the cross for my sins, I owe him my life. Instead of looking at it like that, people look at it as if, yeah, you know, things aren't going my way. Things aren't going my way in this life. Christianity is fake.
Yeah. And
And
that's another thing is people just want instant gratification. Nothing is instant. I mean, like you gotta put the work in. You gotta things happen slowly. Like, like not everything is gonna just happen. It's not gonna just be instant. We live in an instant world though, instant noodles, instant you instantly can get on your phone and find anything, people don't want to wait for anything,
I
you
mean,
know.
yeah, James chapter 2 verse 14 to 26, it talks about how faith without works is dead, you know, and it's it really and I feel like people don't really understand that. Like when they talk about how if you do not have works within your faith, it's dead. If you have faith, if you put faith in God because you feel as if, he's just going to take the will immediately and he's going to practically hand you the life you're looking for. If that's the only reason why you have faith in God, then I'm sorry, that faith is dead.
Yeah,
It's not true faith.
yeah, exactly. Man, I feel like we already kind of covered this. How should we talk to our youth to get to know them better and better understand their lives? Like you were saying, we just got to be there. Like we got to start showing up for them. And really being there. You know, so
I feel, and it's again, it's the parenting as well. A lot of parents nowadays, they're very lenient. I feel like parents should be lenient when it comes to their kids, because Gen Z, they're not much of the super strict learners. If
mhm.
we feel like something is too restricting on us, then we're gonna rebel.
Yeah,
So I feel like there should be some restrictions. There definitely should be restrictions to the point where obviously we need to know our right from our wrongs. We need to know if we do this, this is going to happen. We need to learn about consequences. That's the thing that I feel like Gen Z needs to learn about. We need to learn about consequences. But at a level to where it's not very holding on us. Like it doesn't feel as if we're locked in a cage or locked in a prison. Like there's some freedom, because like I said, a lot of Gen Z people had to mature at a very early age because of a lot of experiences that have gone throughout the world. And that's like one of the biggest things that I really have to say is just like I feel like we should, well, parents, I'm talking like I'm an adult. No,
yeah,
I'm not. No, I'm no. I feel like the parents should definitely be there for their kids in a way that they can teach them about consequences, but don't be there to where it feels as if the kid can't breathe.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a hard balance. At the end of the day, you want to, as a parent, speaking myself, I think sometimes I could be hard, but it's just it, it's just because I know what to expect, and I get it. I was a kid, and I, wasn't trying to hit at, but I think that's a problem. Not only, really in the black community, we got to start listening to our elders, man. Like that's the problem. Like there's plenty of knowledge and wisdom and life experience that is going untapped in our community because of just pride. Like I mean, it's just really foolish, really.
Yeah, pride is another really big thing that's within Gen Z. Um, if a Gen Z person feels as if their pride's being attacked, yeah, yeah, I 100% agree. But it's a view. It's really the view that we have on old people. Like
Mhm.
most people of Gen Z, they think, oh yeah, if you're old, you don't know what you're talking about. You're ancient. Your memory's ancient. It's like times have changed. We live this way like this. It's like you don't know what you're talking about because you don't know how to live in this new world we live in. That's another reason why when Gen Z try to get advice from these old people who have had more life experiences, they're like, yeah, well, your life experience is wrong because this is my life and this is my experience. So yeah, it's definitely a lot. It's definitely pride driven. There a lot of our responses are very pride driven. In fact, I actually wrote a paper
Mhm.
about how the biggest threat to the black community is black people themselves.
Yeah.
And I wrote that paper. I originally was writing it in the thoughts of how we're out here killing each other for very petty reasons, and it's almost as if we kill each other more than cops do. And if we have to worry about cops killing us, if we have to worry about white supremacists, why are we out here being our own enemy?
We
You
the
know,
number one white supremacists at this point.
exactly. And that's another reason why I was just like, wow, like when I wrote that paper, I was just thinking to myself, wow, this is an actual thing that's going on. This is, and it really felt more than just a paper to me, because it's like, wow, we are really our biggest enemy. And it's like black people are okay with being stuck up when it comes to being introduced to other black people. I go on my college campus, I try talking to to random people, trying to get to know people, and they're looking at me like, I don't know you. I don't know you. Like I don't know you. Like, doesn't mean you can't get to know me. It's like
Exactly.
black people are okay with being stuck up, and it's kind of weird, like, because they're acting this way towards their own race, mind you,
Yeah.
towards their own race. They are okay, and they're okay with it. So it's when I really like say that black people are, it feels as if black people are really out to get black people amongst other races already out to get us. It's I can 100% agree with, yeah, black people are definitely we definitely have a lot to work on,
We
especially
gotta do
within the
better,
Gen Z.
man.
Yes.
We gotta do better, man. So last question, but what are some things that we just don't know and we sleep on about today's youth?
Besides the things that I've already covered,
Yeah.
maybe just, I pretty much covered
Yeah.
everything. I guess the biggest thing again is mental health.
Yeah.
A lot of Gen Z people in drug addiction as well.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if doing something that you see on TV or doing something that you see on social media is cool. You're going to want to do it too, even if it endangers you. So it's really just mental health, and it's crazy because you see a lot of suicide rates. The suicide rates have gone very much high
Really?
within the past year. Not recently,
Mm-hmm.
not recently, but I'm saying in general, from like the start of Gen Z to where we are now. Because I was looking at stuff like that, and I remember going over it in a class. I think it was my English class. I remember going over that, and how my professor's generation, he was like, yeah, suicide was like a thing, but it wasn't as crazy as it gotten. It wasn't as crazy as it got. And like I said, it goes along with how Gen Z has no care about other people in Gen Z. People would bully people to that point. People would go against people to that point. So I just think, I would say, watch who your kids hang around with. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's your kids' decision. They feel that if they want to hang around with whoever they want to hang around with, that also goes again along with pride and how we don't like hearing advice. So it's like, yeah, you can control it to an extent, but I say 100% watch who your kids hang around with, because a lot of the times the people that they're hanging around with is going to be that child's downfall, because you are who you hang around with.
Yep. Yep. You're a combination of like the 7 people you hang out the most with. That's what they something like that. But hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You were
Of
an excellent
course.
interview, man. And hey, like I said, if you ever need me, brother, I'm here. And we just gotta, just start being. I gotta start being there more for the youth. I mean, I just kind of, see y'all say what's up, but I know it's things in y'all life that y'all going through, or just some advice you might need, brother. I just want you to know I'm there for that. If you ever need that, I'm no judgment, and you can pull me to the side. You got my number now. You can call me, brother. For
All
real.
right.
So, hey, man, I appreciate you coming. And once again, we'd all like to thank Brother Albama for coming. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Y'all
Of
have a good
course.